Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the December live stream. Today we're gonna just sit here, hang out, chill out for maybe half an hour, and I'm gonna answer some questions for anyone that's willing to join in for today's stream and see what you guys need help with. I really didn't have a whole lot of time to prepare this morning, and so that's why today's stream doesn't have the little agenda that I normally have up. And what you're kind of seeing in the simulator right now is the last tutorial that I put up on the channel. I know a lot of you have been asking for animation tutorials and lessons on how to, I guess, best use some of the iOS frameworks for animations. And the best way that I know of is to use these basic animations and CA animation classes. And the way that they typically work is you just animate one certain property on your layers. And it's much easier to build and work with in terms of getting the behavior that you're trying to achieve. Now, one thing that I kind of struggled with in terms of trying to get this lesson or this series of videos out for the animation, I guess, course or whatever, is the number that's being animated inside of these little circles. So you see the top says 50, the middle says 100%, right? So the question is, how do you even animate a number from 0 to 50 or 0 to 100? So that was probably the hardest part of this little simulator demo that you're seeing right now. And to be honest, I had to do a bit of research to get to this final state where I can animate these numbers. And hopefully by the end of the animation series, I'll be able to show you how to do that. And what I'm really hoping for is that I'll be able to get a better understanding of how it works, because a lot of that code is borrowed from someone. And yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to talk about for, I guess, the first minute or two. And I'll kind of hang out with you guys, you people, just everyone out here. Maybe I'll stick around for half an hour. Let's see how I feel. I'm always losing my voice on Sundays. I don't really know why. And something that's been on my mind for quite a bit of time lately is I'm actually recovering from like a little bit of an injury in my leg. And so I don't know if you guys know what an MCL tear is or an MCL sprain, but that's what I have right now. My knee is in a little bit of pain and it's not able to bend. I'm not able to bend my left knee, so I'm still trying to recover from that. And so, working from home is a good way to just relax, do some physical therapy, and try to get back in shape. So I hope you guys are able to take care of your bodies. It's really important. Once something goes wrong and you're physically not at 100%, that's when you realize that, oh yeah, health is actually really important. So hopefully everyone is aware of that. And let's see, how many people we got on here today? We have 89 watching so far. Let me see. Where are you guys all from anyways? I'm always trying to figure out like who's able to make it to the Sunday live streams, because I have it at maybe what you would call an inconvenient time for the rest of the world. And this is what works for me. I'm really trying to figure out another time slot to have these live streams so I can talk to the other side of the world in a live feedback format, but can't always get it to work out. So just let me know if there's a better time for everyone. Yeah. Maybe I can hold a poll on the Facebook group just to see. The other day I was trying to test out this this thing. So who knows what this is? I guess it's pretty obvious that, it's on the screen. So I'm trying to test this thing out. This is technically called like a dead cat. I think it's called a dead cat. And what you do is you you put it on top of your microphone. So if I do it right now, the audio is going to be horrible. So as you can imagine, putting this thing on here is very similar to something else, right? So all you have to do is you just slip it on, make sure it's nice and snug. Okay, maybe I should stop talking about this, but yeah, I still don't know if I want to use this little this little thing that you slip on before I talk on the microphone. I'm always like kind of going back and forth on what kind of mic I want to use for the recordings. I think right now I am in a pretty good place. I don't really like that big old pop filter. So this is something that I also use that's not a furry slip-on thing. So this okay, now that I'm looking at the actual stream here, it does look a little strange what I'm doing with this thing. Oh, I'm having so many different thoughts about this right now. Anyways. Yeah, so I guess some people on Twitter have been asking me how to set up kind of a YouTube setup, camera-wise, microphone, editing software, how to put up these lessons on YouTube. So yeah, I mean, I have so much equipment right now that I would rather have less. So we're talking about lights, tripods, camera equipment, audio equipment, mics, yeah, just everything. What you guys aren't seeing underneath right here is just so many stuff. Okay, so let's see, we have people from, wow, I see such a huge amount of like variation in terms of the location. So we have San Antonio, Texas. I think it's what, 1 o'clock over there, 1 p.m. Moldova, Sweden. So I've been watching a lot of PewDiePie videos, and he's from Sweden, or I guess he lives in London, but that guy is incredible. He's incredible. The type of stuff he puts out there. Huge fan of PewDiePie's videos. I recommend checking him out if you're kind of like into strange, off the rails comedy. So we have Germany. Learned so much from you. Started with Swift. Awesome. Nashville. I think that's Tennessee. Is that the Midwest? I haven't been to Nashville yet, I don't think. When I first got out of college, I worked at a job where I had to fly around the United States, and I think Nashville was on the schedule before I left the company. And yeah, before I actually decided to leave that job, I think I probably went to at least 10 or 20 places just to like teach people how to use our software for the company. I didn't start off as a programmer when I got out of college, but slowly made my way into the programming field. So here's some London. I'm getting a lot of London people on the live stream, and also during I guess my one-on-one coding sessions. And I think it's probably because of the timing of when I release my videos that that side of the world gets, or it's a good timing for that side of the world. Not exactly sure why yet. I see UK again, Lancaster, is that Pennsylvania, South Africa. I also get a lot of South African people watching my videos. Always surprised, always welcome to have everyone around the world joining me. It's always a good time. Doing cardio while watching your videos. That's awesome. You know what would be actually helpful if I had a treadmill here and I could just like continuously walk up and down, get some exercise as I do this. Oh, Poland. Awesome. The Polish is joining us in here. The only thing that I know is from Poland is Marcin Gortat from the Washington Wizards. They call him the Polish Hammer. I know most of you don't watch the NBA, but I'm a huge fan of basketball. Italy, Rome, Austria, India. All right, Netherlands. Nice. Very nice. Are you an Android developer? So I used to do Android. So one thing about what I have been preparing for this channel in the last month or so, I've been kind of researching on a lot of different things and working on a lot of proof of concept applications. So what I mean is I'll spend a couple of days here doing some Android projects and then doing some animation things and then putting up some other lessons for something else. And what I've noticed is that I really want to push out all of that content before I start on something new. I'm always like, I have this huge queue now of projects that I have that I want to show off, but yeah, that's what I want to do. So Android is actually one of the things that I've been meaning to put out more lessons for. So I'll be doing that really soon. South Africa again, Phoenix, Arizona. I think it's West Coast time over there. UG, I'm gonna guess that's maybe Uganda. I hope no one gets offended for me guessing the wrong initial. Streets of Malibu, so I think that's LA. India, a lot of Indian viewers, subscribers on the channel. Not surprising because India is it's so heavily populated with like engineers and people that study computer science. It's like they've got really good talent over there. Freddie Ash, Iowa Sunday Pure Lab Meetup. Nice. Noise Bridge, San Francisco. Nice. Very nice. Oh yeah, Freddie. Huh, interesting. I've been meaning to organize another meetup, but physically getting to a meetup, like driving there, setting up all my equipment, preparing for like a 1 hour talk. So I did that for like 3 weeks, I think, last year. It's really stressful. Like really stressful. I don't know why. Cyprus, Colombia, Spain. Wow, so many different areas in the world. Pretty awesome. Serbia, Guyana, South America. Hope you can live stream earlier. Yeah. This is the earliest that I can get everything set up on a Sunday morning, so I do apologize if this is too late. But you know, it is what it is. Hello from France, Japan, Nippon. Is that how you say that? No, that's wrong. Is it? Nippon? Nihongo? Yeah. I tried to learn Japanese like a long time ago. Oh, I think last year. Incredibly difficult. Yeah. So I really like learning languages. I studied Chinese for quite a bit, a couple of years, and still, I guess. And so learning Chinese was not that difficult, but learning Japanese was really hard. Minneapolis, Armenia. Nice. Saturday it's better, I think. Yeah. Are you planning on releasing a new course on the website about building a Node.js backend, which I am super hyped about? If that's the case, or was that the bonus episodes on Instagram Firebase? All right, so good question, Adrian. So for that Instagram Firebase course that's on the website, I mean, a lot of you have enrolled, so very happy to have just everyone learning from that course. At the very end of the course, we recently released those push notification lessons and how to use Cloud Functions, which is a Node.js technology. And I think there's like 3 episodes that uses Node.js. So that's the bonus portion of that course. And we don't really cover a whole lot of Node.js in there. So what I was trying to do was to put up some simple Node.js lessons on the channel first. And I really want to get a good feel for what the content looks like on the channel before I release a full course on the website. That way it just works out better. So that's what I'm looking to do. furry condom. Yeah, that's kind of what it is, huh? Strange. Oh, let's see, where am I at? Okay, got a Superjet. Okay. Powell Tuchonsky. Yeah, that's how I'm gonna pronounce her name. Hey Brian, I tend to understand Swift better by memorizing like a pianist. Daily repeats of iOS projects. If not, the stuff goes away. Is that a bad strategy? So this is a good question, and it definitely relates back to the video about memorizing code that I put out a couple of days ago. I think obviously everyone learns differently, and especially programming being such a hard subject. I think repeating iOS projects is always a good idea. I think the problem with trying to memorize something is that it's not always that helpful to just memorize how a piece of code is written. It's like if you memorize the music sheet for a song, that means that you can play the entire song without having to look at the music sheet, right? But it doesn't necessarily mean that if you want to write like a different song, or if you want to play a different song, if you don't memorize that song, then you don't know how to play it. So my suggestion is to know how to read music sheets really well, not memorizing the music sheet itself. So understanding how to like search for answers, search for the pieces of code that you need, that's how I would recommend learning things. But again, repeating projects is always a good thing, I think. Okay, so wow, a lot of people. I think we have 128 viewers on the stream right now. I don't know if I want to blast Twitter with this live stream because there's going to be an awful lot of people if I do that. Oh man, so we got Turkey, we got the furry condom, data science. I think data science is a good field to get into. If you don't want to be stuck with programming for like the next 5 to 10 years, like data science is a perfectly okay sector of the software field to start studying. It's a good paying job also. Okay, so we have Andrian. I know this is out of topic, but can you show me Blackmagic Ultra Studio Mini just for 5 seconds? I want to buy it, but I'm afraid if I'm wrong. Well, there's only this one Blackmagic thing, so I don't have it. Yeah, I can't. I can't get to it right now, but it's the thing that I use to record these live streams. I'll send you a picture later on Twitter. Should I major in computer science or software engineering? I think I did a video on that, right? It's kind of funny sometimes people ask me things that I just did a video on. Yeah. So the thing I did want to ask everyone here is how are you going to end your 2017 year? I know I'm going to be putting out a lot more lessons. I actually have something that I have planned for the channel, which I want to get done, and I'll be doing something this Tuesday, and then I'll be releasing that video I think probably Wednesday or Thursday. But yeah, I'm really excited about that little project that I have for you guys. Do you also make APIs for client projects to integrate with the database, MySQL, Microsoft Server SQL? Do you let them supply with APIs? So when I work on projects, it depends on how the client or what the client is asking for. So ever since I've been freelancing, I've been building out the entire stack, including the iOS front end and then the back end. And I've been using like Node and Golang for the back end. So that's what I've been doing. A beacon app. I have no idea how to build a beacon app. Node.js course. Yep. Everything's in the works. Preparing all of these lessons and courses and things that I want to video or record on video, man, that takes a lot of time. if you've never done it before, oh, you can never imagine how much work goes into it. Like, I'm not saying like I'm the best person at doing this. It's just, man, yeah. So the easy things I've been doing, like lately on the channel, I've been putting out smaller like series, 4 to 5 lessons, and that's much easier than preparing a 20 lesson course like the YouTube app, the Firebase chat app. Yeah. So hopefully everyone appreciates the stuff that's on this channel. Beginner question, but maybe use image picker from GitHub, an array of images from that image picker controller when I render out those images for my next. I think I've done the image picker tutorial like 5-6 times on this channel. Don't really want to talk about it again. How do you know how much charge a client building out an iOS app with Firebase? You just charge either hourly or charge by how much you think the project's worth. And that's always a hard thing to do, but I would always say charge like 1.5 times what they're asking and then work from there, because it's always going to take a lot longer than you think. What age did I start programming? Probably like 16 or 17 with Flash ActionScript 2.0. A really, really raw programming language. I wouldn't really consider a programming language, but it definitely involved like some logic, some looping, and some things you actually had to type out, like a script. Controller, but can't get it to work. So yeah, passing things to another controller. So in the core data course, we do this a lot. So you might want to check that course out. I think we send a company to another controller, and then we render out the company's information in the new screen. So make sure to go check that out. We have Italy, Georgia, upstate New York. I think last year, no, maybe 2 years ago, I was in New York, Manhattan, New York. Very nice place. Like very, very nice. We have Simon Zhang, 法国, Bali, I believe that's Paris. Vancouver, nice. Turkey. Dubai, Saudi Arabia, Moldova again, Ukraine, Denmark, Philippines, nice. How do I become a master programmer? Well, maybe if you catch them all, then you can become a master programmer. Man's not hot. Okay. Is there any Slack channel? Currently, no. How can I make a custom controller? Well, you just make a new class. That's a custom. Tennessee, never hot. Memphis, nice. Denmark. So I have Johan and Tiernan from Denmark. Maybe you guys can work on a project together. Squad fam. Russia. Not sure what this is. Niagara Falls, Ontario. I've been there twice. I really like it. Like Montreal, Ontario, Vancouver, Canada. It's great places to be at. Croatia, Ankara, Turkey, Switzerland, Romania. Coding challenge to do for Twitter. Any advice? Well, let's build it out. Programming is all about trial and error. I think sometimes you kind of lose sight about how to build out something, and so I've been getting some questions about kind of how to understand code better. And there really isn't an easy way to understand code unless you just try it out. Like physically typing out the code and then hitting the run button, that is a way for your brain to kind of understand, oh, if I do this, the code works like this. If I modify the code by a couple of lines, then I run it again. Okay, oh, this is what the change does. That's how I've been learning how to program. That's how most people do it. It's a lot of trial and error and guessing and checking. I usually get your upload around 6 p.m., 8 p.m. UK. I guess because I upload at about 8 a.m. in the West Coast, UK is about 12 hours out. Okay. Face tracking. I don't know. Where's my iPhone? So this is the iPhone 10. I really like it actually. Like, aside from a couple of minor things that's, I guess, can be fixed with software, I think it's a pretty good phone. Now, whether or not it actually is worth $1,000, that's, I don't think it's worth $1,000 considering how there are much better options out there, or much affordable options out there. Not exactly sure it's worth $1,000. Bitcoin, nope, I am not. Okay, Ukraine again, nice. Developer accounts are free. I'm looking up my app and the iPhone's perfect, but after 3 or 4 days, that app don't run when I press the icon. Yeah, sometimes that tends to happen. Not sure why. Bitcoin is everywhere. What do I think about Bitcoin? Well, if we were, talking about 3 years ago, and whether or not you should purchase Bitcoin, obviously you should have invested. I think now is kind of the high point. It's definitely going to fall or drop a little bit in price. Should you invest now? I don't know. Yeah, I think it's going to keep on rising. It's kind of like Apple stock and Google stock. You look, 10 years ago, you'd never think that the company would be worth this much. But I think Bitcoin's going to go through the same thing. It's going to drop a little bit and it's going to keep rising for the next 10 to 20 years. It's not going to go away. It's just extremely volatile as a currency. Is college worth it? I don't think so. So is college worth it? So I think college is kind of like a nice iPhone, right? You have it, it's nice. If you don't have it, you can go for maybe a cheaper option. But the problem with college and education is that there's really no other cheaper option other than a good university. But the problem right now with computer science and getting a job as a software engineer is that everyone kind of looks at your resume and they look at the first thing on it as what kind of college you graduated from. And there's no way around that. If you're trying to apply for a big company, right? If you graduated from a good college, you're obviously going to get a kind of like a jump start in terms of the interview process. That's kind of how that works. No way around it. EA Accessory, nope. The full stack developer. Yeah, maybe. Am I a full stack developer? I don't know. Yeah, probably. So my entire website's done just with backend, React, and then yeah, I guess. What I need to learn first, Swift or Java Kotlin? This question is always like really easy to figure out if it was me, because I would just learn whatever I have access to. So right now it's probably Swift and Kotlin. Top languages to learn in 2018. Maybe I'll make a very clickbaity video that answers this question. Not really into clickbait videos, but who knows? Maybe if I'm in need of views for the channel, I'll do it again. What's your opinion on CloudKit? Use core data offline, but I need some kind of cloud storage. Any recommendation? I think CloudKit. What do I want to say about CloudKit? I think in terms of learning how to use CloudKit, the libraries, the SDKs, it's very difficult to kind of access your data compared to something like Firebase. The last time I worked on it, I didn't have a good time. I didn't find it fun or exciting at all. It's kind of hard. You can't access it from Android, but most of your applications you don't need your Android users. Yeah. Okay, so I think I answered that question already. What do you think about Python? If you want to learn Python, I think you should definitely do it. I personally don't really know Python myself. But again, if I were to learn it, it wouldn't take too long to start understanding the syntax, right? It's all about writing variables and writing functions. What language is more exciting? Android, Java, or Swift? Definitely Java is a dinosaur language. Swift is a little bit newer. Kotlin, I would say, is more interesting than all of these languages put together. The problem with Swift is that the Xcode editor really sucks. If you haven't worked with another programming editor before, then you don't know how bad Xcode is. I'll tell you that. Android Studio is a pretty good piece of tech. I want to publish my app this year. Hope we'll do it. Yeah, so that's my challenge for everyone. Push out your applications to the App Store by the end of 2017. Try to go through the process and submit your application to the App Store. If they deny it, if they reject it, that's fine. At least you've gone through that process, maybe once or twice. It's always a good experience to kind of get under your belt. I'm good. Switzerland. Do you know Android development? Yes, I do. Can't read that. I really wish I knew more languages. Yeah. It's always awesome to meet people that know how to speak more than one language, dialect, and kind of shows, I think, for some reason, it feels like the more languages you know, the more intelligent it seems like it's tied together. Finishing my first contract job without storyboards, thanks to you. Awesome. That's really nice to hear. I think so okay. Today's stream, I haven't received a question about storyboard versus programming yet, so I guess I'll answer or talk about it for a quick second here. Or maybe not. Maybe I'll skip it. Yeah. I'll just skip the storyboard thing. Hello from Germany. By the way, I'm from Turkey. Awesome. I have a very good friend that's from Turkey. Haven't really talked to him in 5 years. Maybe I'll contact him again. He's also an iOS developer now. Really funny guy. Hello from Idaho. Nice. Is Idaho the potato state? Might be completely wrong. Qatar? Is that from Dubai? Where's Qatar? Yep. What is aggregation in Java? I have no idea. Have you tried cross-platform frameworks such as React Native, FuseTool, Xamarin, NativeScript? Not really. I know React.js. I did React Native for 2 hours last year. I didn't understand the technology at the time, but now that I understand React.js, I think React Native should be pretty easy to learn. I want to put out some lessons on React Native. But here's my question. What would the reaction be if I included someone else on this channel to do React or Node or PHP lessons. I know YouTube channels don't really work this way, but it's very hard to have just one person doing everything that like the subscribers want, the viewers want. So it's nice to have like a sidekick or a partner to do it with you, because it's not as tiring and you have kind of motivational support. So maybe I'll bring someone else onto the channel to help me do some of this stuff. Yeah, I know introducing someone else to, like introducing a new face to the channel is kind of difficult. It always takes some time to get used to someone new on the channel. Yeah, I'm having trouble getting an internship for the summer. I want to get into somewhere in Silicon Valley or Seattle. Yeah, I think those are good places. Do you have any advice? I don't know. Internships are very different compared to getting a full-time job as a software engineer. Yeah. I think interns are grilled even more about what they've learned in their classes. So make sure you have good grades, and if you have some good portfolio projects, then yeah, should work out in your favor. I'm looking at the stats for today's live stream. We have 153 people in the room. That's probably a record for the live stream. Yeah, good to have everyone join me for the live stream of December 10th. And yeah, good to see all the new faces in here as well. Oh man, I think I lost my place here. Oh, I gotta love the live stream, huh? Oh, so many people. So we have Johan with the 20 kroners. I think that's what those are. And we have iJourney as well. Thought about a video where you go in detail about APIs and general concepts. Someone needs to be hired as a developer. P.S. You are awesome. Well, thank you, iJourney. I don't really know what I want to say about this. I think APIs is such a broad and general term. Learning iOS UIKit APIs is something that you'll definitely need as an iOS developer. General concepts, you need to be hired as a developer. Yeah, if you're just getting into the field of software development, then yeah, you'll have to learn all the tools for that technology you want to get into. So sometimes it's hard for me to relate to, I guess, people that are just getting into software development sometimes, because there's so much to learn, especially in the beginning. It feels like there's all of these different technologies out there. Like, do I have to learn SQL? Do I have to learn a backend thing? Do I have to know Android and iOS? It's hard to think in those terms because you'll never be able to understand it all. Like, it takes 5 to 10 years to get a good grasp on it. So for me, I would say learn iOS, get good at, the table views, core data, how to use JSON, URL sessions. That's kind of where you want to start out with. That's what I say. That's what I want to say about that. Oh man. Okay. So we have so many questions today. I think I will probably suffocate myself if I answer all of it. Freelancer full-time. Let me just pick out the good questions here. Been looking for tutorials on UI table view programming, but haven't found any good tutorials on that. Would be good to have one, especially for static grouped styling. So we have that core data course where we construct our table views programmatically. We don't do any static group styling. And to be honest, I haven't really used this option in any of my applications, whether it be for clients or personal projects. I've done it with the storyboard, but I never really had a good use for the static group thing. Okay. Okay, what makes Japanese so difficult? I am from Poland. I find Japanese much easier to learn than Chinese. So the reason Chinese is easier for me is because I grew up kind of speaking it a little bit, and that definitely makes a language like 50 times easier than picking up something new. So trying to learn Japanese as an older adult, I think the problem is in at least where I'm living in California, we don't have a lot of Japanese things here, so it's difficult for me to like get immersed into the Japanese culture. So that's kind of hard for me. It's kind of an excuse, but it makes it hard. Reactive programming, I don't really use React programming. Maybe I'll do some lessons on it. Will you release AR courses? I don't know. AR feels very gimmicky right now. I don't really want to spend time on anything too gimmicky, but I've thought about it. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of all of these technologies or all of these architectures. So MVC, MVVM, MVP, Viper, like honestly, who cares? Yeah, like after you've worked with technology and software and programming for 5 to 10 years, you're gonna realize that none of this stuff matters. Yeah. And it's not that it doesn't matter, but the way that people talk about it like it's so important it's kind of you're kind of over exaggerating the importance of these architectures. That's how I feel, because at every software company they're going to have a different stack. Software developers have different philosophies. None of this is like super relevant, I think. I mean, it is relevant, but I wouldn't focus. If I was a beginner developer, I wouldn't focus my time on any of that stuff. That's just me. John Marcus in Germany, I don't know. Hello from Afghanistan. Nice. Google Apps let you donate to charity. How do they connect to the charity? I don't know. Germany, will you finish the Twitter tutorial? Probably not. Okay, so here's the one thing about the videos on this channel. If it is like half a year to a year old, I'm definitely not going to revisit it. The one thing that I have thought about revisiting is the YouTube drag, the video player dragging feature. So that's something that's really interesting, and it has to do with CA layers. And the reason why I haven't shown how to do that on the channel is because it's very difficult to explain how to do it, because you have to first figure out how to drag things on your screen, which requires like a whole 5 or 10 lessons on how to do. And then you have to talk about CA layers and how it should interact with the way you drag things on the screen. And then you have to talk about how it animates to that corner on the bottom right and how you have to drag it up and dismiss it. So that's all like very fun. For me, these are the type of projects that I like to work on. And there's a lot of code. It's very hard to explain how it works. Even harder to record and get all this information on in video format. So it's a challenge that I'm kind of looking forward to do, or trying to accomplish and take on that challenge for next year. So here's another good question from Young Wook-sung. I think this is a Korean name, hopefully. Do you have a plan to do this? So I really don't like this teaching style, even though I know it's helpful. Honestly, for me, I don't like I have a hard time teaching things from a non-practical point of view. So for example, if I were to explain all of the components in UI kit, like what a UI button is, a UI table view, collection view, segment control, blah, 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 navigation bar, like none of that is really interesting unless you have a good base or a good context. So I find it really hard to teach things without proper context. is what I'll say. Hello from India, doing awesome work. Oh, thank you. Yep. So we're getting close to 45 minutes here. Oh man, still a lot of people here. So I think I'll cut out pretty soon in the next 5 minutes. So I'm gonna quickly scan for the questions that I can answer. What type of analytics tool? Well, I don't exactly use any analytics other than what I have, such as like Google Analytics, and Heroku kind of tells me what's going on with the server. Again, my website isn't like a banking website. It doesn't do a lot of very important things but serve videos. So it's not extremely important that I analyze what's going on, but I do have a ton of metrics that I look at. So I am awesome. All right, I am awesome. I have no idea what School 42 is. Okay. I'm currently a college student, but it's too damn expensive. I was wondering if you can recommend any other paths. Well, getting the college degree is unfortunately still very important in this industry. And yeah, I think it's kind of difficult to be like, it's difficult to be around software people if you don't have a software degree. I'll tell you that. And that all goes back to that imposter syndrome. So, yeah. Best to learn Java or Swift. Learn both. Okay, what else is there to talk about here? So I think before I wrap up for today, what I really want to go over is, okay, maybe the last super chat that I got. Let's see. Pochi Gil. What is an ARS? Is it Argentinian dollars? I'm an Android developer. I want to get into iOS world now. Can I start working with an MacBook Air and the emulators? Greeting from Argentina. So I think the MacBook Air is a little slow. I wouldn't recommend buying that. If you have the money to purchase a better machine, I would definitely look into something more, I guess, faster, has more RAM, and can run the simulator a little better. Because you'll find yourself, like, you're a developer, right? You find yourself running the code all the time and compiling. And the thing about Android is that you can actually compile the code a lot faster. But for iOS, you just constantly have to hit the run, recompile everything. And if you have a better computer, it makes your life less torturous. Okay, so let's see. What was your highlight for this year? So highlight for this year, I think for me, I think being able to kind of push out a couple of courses, getting together this entire platform for me to teach people how to code, that's what I've been most proud of. I think in the year of 2018, I want to take this further. I want to try other things as well. And it's been an adventure, like in terms of getting together all this content, making it kind of self-sustainable, having this entire website, having 80,000 subscribers. I think it's going to hit 90,000 very soon. Like having all of this work so that it's maintainable, that's the most difficult part that I struggle with every day. I don't know how much longer I can do this for. Like, every day I kind of wake up and I think to myself, wow, wouldn't it be much easier if I just became a regular developer, got a full-time job, kind of clocked in at 9, clock out at 5, sometimes later at night at 6 p.m., get paid very good money, do this, and just work as a full-time employee. So I think about this all the time. And the thing about being a full-time employee is that you never really get to do what you want to do. And building out this channel has been on my mind for the last maybe 4 to 5 years. And now that I'm finally doing it, I can kind of see how much work is involved, how stressful it is, how tiring it can be. And it definitely takes a toll on you physically and mentally. 2017, getting out, like doing all of this was kind of difficult, but I think it's definitely worth it for me, at least. I do appreciate everyone that's been supporting me throughout the website, throughout all these videos, just giving me positive feedback all the time. And the thing I noticed about this channel is that so I obviously I look at a lot of other YouTube channels every day, and I look at programming channels also. And I think this channel right here is very, very different. I think this channel especially is, compared to other iOS channels, programming channels, there's a different kind of mentality here. And I can tell that a lot of the programmers are much better in terms of programming, and the talent here, and like there's a lot of good programmers that I can tell are asking really good questions in the videos. So I've been like really just super appreciative of everyone taking the time to watch the videos and learning about this new technology that is called Swift. And I really want to push new technology like Kotlin and Node as well. And having everyone just come together and having a solid, nice place to just chat about programming, I think that's pretty awesome. Like, I'm pretty proud of being able to create something like this. Yeah, so that's what I kind of wanted to say for today's video, at least. And so Zan Swift says, stop asking stupid questions about choose programming language, Google it. I think, yeah, I've gotten a lot of like what I would consider stupid questions also on the channel. Yeah, just Google it is the thing I would say to most of the questions on the channel. But it's nice to get your feedback on everything as well. It's nice to definitely hear what you guys are thinking about. And it helps me out, kind of keeps me on track in terms of what to do next for the channel. Yeah. Okay. So Varun says I should do an office tour. So the office tour is just my bedroom right now. I've been looking to kind of purchase a new home, a new house. And yeah, so that's the other thing that's been kind of on my mind. I'm trying to purchase a home so I can have a much nicer recording area. And over the past couple of weeks of watching PewDiePie videos, I realized that a fancy office is not necessary to have good videos. Like putting out really good content, putting out things that people want to watch and listen to, that's much more important than like the video camera setup, having a nice background, nice shot. That's actually not all that important. Like the microphone, this guy right here is much more important than what I'm recording with, I think. So yeah, I guess that's all I want to say about that. So Jorge, George, how would you pronounce this accurately? Is it Jorge Jaramillo? Jorge Jaramillo? Is this J silent? If you were to pronounce this with a hard American accent, it would probably be George Jaramillo. Have you ever thought about hosting a conference for iOS devs? Okay. Jorge Jaramillo. Yeah. So I studied Spanish for 2 years in high school. I have a very basic understanding of it. Super, super basic. So do a book. These people want a book. If I knew someone that could help me write a book, then I would do it. But I don't know anyone that has written a programming book. I know a lot of the Ray Wenderlich guys and girls that do programming over there. They write really good books. So I don't have any books. That's why I haven't really thought about writing a book. But I know people would like a written, like they want all of this content in written format. And that's what I want to do. But unless I have someone to help me write a book, I probably won't be able to do it. I think maybe what I'll start off with is a short, like 30-page ebook without any programming in it. And it would just be my thoughts on like the industry, how to get into programming, how to make it a sustainable career. Because I've seen a lot of people kind of like come and go in terms of programming. Some people just can't do it, and some people are really great at it, but they also find it difficult. Water bottle is not efficient. Okay, when I get to the bottom of the bottle, I think I'll have to check out. Suzanne says that will there be a discount for the courses? I've kind of thought about it. I don't really have an easy way of implementing discounts just yet, other than like just lowering the course costs across the board. I currently don't know yet. There's like so many students enrolling in each course that there really isn't a need for me from a business point of view to discount the courses. And I would like to give away these courses, but it doesn't make sense from a business point of view. Like it all goes back to making this channel sustainable for me so that I can continue to pump out the free lessons on the YouTube channel. So it's all a cycle. The thing that goes into the website helps me sustain this channel, and it kind of goes back and forth. Yeah, so that's what I want to say about discounts. Yeah. And if you think about it, like a $40 to $50 course is just 10 cups of coffee at Starbucks. Yeah. Move to Portland, buy a home. It's beautiful, cheaper than SF, and many tech people live here. We need another person as you. You know, that's good to hear. So I'm planning to buy a house outside of San Francisco. I live in San Francisco right now, but I don't need to be here because of the YouTube channel is a remote job, really. Yeah. And currently I can't really move to another state because my family is here. Like my mom and dad, they still live in California. I really wouldn't want to be too far away, but you know, I think about it all the time. How do I learn new safe area thing in Xcode? Well, if you want to do the storyboard thing, just push that button. Everything should be okay. In code, it's even easier. Just use safe area layout guides. Doing a code. Okay, so Calvin says that he's about to do a coding interview tomorrow. How do I approach coding questions? I am a great engineer, but I do not know how to approach leak code HackerRank. Well, Lead Code has a premium plan that you can buy, like a subscription plan. Just purchase the plan and then do the exercises. Okay, health app. Not really sure I want to get into that. Okay, is coding learnable to a person who has never coded? Is web developer same as software developer in terms of salary? I think anyone can learn coding. It's just how you approach it, really. Like, this is the same question as asking, do you think anyone can learn how to play the piano? Like, we're all able to do it if we spend enough time and practice into it, and if we have a good instructor teaching us the basics and fundamentals, then we'd be able to do it. It's just, do you have that same type of environment for you to learn programming? That's kind of the key. Okay, so we just hit the 1 hour mark. We still have 120 people here. Hopefully that number is accurate. Seeing all of you in the chat still seems like it's accurate. I'm gonna pick one last question here. If you want to ask a final question, please leave it in the chat and then I'll get to it. Yeah. So in the year of 2018, what I want to do is I want to push out at least 10 different courses for the channel. That's what I've been thinking about. And that's a really, really hard goal to accomplish. So that's what I'm looking forward to do. I also want to try something else with the channel. The thing about the YouTube channels is I definitely am getting a little tired of doing it. After having done it for 2 years, every day of my life. I can't say that it's all that, I wouldn't say exciting or interesting. I wouldn't say that it's boring either, but it certainly feels like a job at this point. And I want to try something different with the YouTube channel. So don't be surprised if you start seeing different styles and different sort of experiments that I run on the channel. The thing I really want to kind of do is to make the channel a little bit more fun and engaging, and I haven't really figured out how to do that yet. Okay, so we have someone down here that says, I bought your basic training course, but I found UI object and function inside is difficult. What else should I learn? Extra help to me. So the thing about programming and the basic training course is that it's just kind of meant to kind of have you become more aware of how UI kit works, like a table view, buttons, and all that. And you have to see this code. You have to visually see it a lot before you feel like you really understand it. There's no way around it. You have to see, you have to live the life of a programmer, and then you'll understand much better how everything works after a year. And then your second year, you're like, oh, what I learned last year actually is super simple now and super easy. And you just have to continually go through this process of looking at code, reading code, and the better and faster you get at understanding how to read code by itself, the better of a programmer you'll be. So that's kind of the theme of this channel. I present code and I don't present anything else, right? It's just code, run the code, see what happens, and that's how it goes. Okay, so wow, a lot of questions. Okay, so Ray Wonderlick recently released a tower defense tutorial on how to build a game similar to a tower defense. That's something that I've been wanting to learn for the last 10 years, really. And I want to work on that too. Maybe I'll get some time next year to learn how to build a game. I'm not really a game developer, so. Okay. So do you want to buy a Tesla? I've been looking at that new Tesla model for $250,000. If I can someday have that amount of money to just blow on a Tesla car, I'd be happy. I'd be really happy. Maybe someday, the channel will have 1 million subscribers, and I'll be able to generate that kind of money to buy a Tesla car without thinking about it. Yeah. So Jesus Antonio Soria Garcini says, "Hi Brian, excellent course, intermediate training, core data. I think the cost, it's okay. Excellent course. Regards from Mexico." Yeah. I think for $40, the courses that I produce are definitely worth the money. Very good value for the costs in terms of what you invest in it. Okay, so last question here. Are coding bootcamps worth the cost? Are coding bootcamps worth the cost? I don't think that colleges are worth the cost. So colleges will cost $100,000 to $200,000 for a 4, maybe 5-year degree if you're studying computer science. Is that worth the cost? Definitely not, because you take a lot of really unrelated courses in college. So I don't think it's worth it. Are boot camps worth the cost? I don't know. Are boot camps worth the cost? So it really depends on the boot camp, obviously. It's hard for me to say because I know how the internet works. I know exactly where to look for information. And I know what it takes to be hired as an iOS developer. So for me, obviously, I wouldn't go to a boot camp, and I've taught boot camps before. I think there was a question earlier about whether or not I would hold an iOS dev boot camp. I've thought about it. The hardest thing about holding a physical boot camp is you have to have a physical space somewhere in the world, right? Most likely I would hold it in the Silicon Valley somewhere, because it just makes sense to be out here, and it's much easier to land a job in the Silicon Valley. Like whether or not I would hold a boot camp myself, I don't know. I honestly don't think that boot camps are that helpful in terms of learning things. Like the best technology available right now to learn programming is actually videos. And if you go to the boot camp, the biggest problem is the instructor they have to teach a class of like 20 students how to program one lesson. And most of the time you teach the class at the pace of the slowest student. And that's the worst thing that can happen if the course or if the class is super advanced, except for like 1 or 2 students. It's just really boring. The students that are able to like pick things up really quickly, they are going to get really bored. So what is the best thing to do is just watch videos, and you can go at your own pace. So that's kind of why I don't think boot camps are that helpful. There has been a huge drop in terms of boot camps kind of going out of business, right? I think the reason is because there's so many different like video training websites out there right now that are much better than boot camps. That's kind of why I don't see boot camps being a business that can survive this type of climate change in the software industry. Okay. And then the last question here is, what about a digital boot camp? So digital boot camps, I don't know. So the best thing about a boot camp is that you are held accountable for the projects that you work on. And you have partners, you have group members that you work with, and that's the most important part of a boot camp. if you do a digital bootcamp and you don't have someone physically there to work with you, then the best parts of bootcamp, they're just not there. So I don't exactly, like, I would never do a digital bootcamp. Honestly, I would never do it. But yeah, that's all I wanted to talk about today. Making an app with PayPal SDK. Don't they have documentation that tell you exactly how to do this? I mean, my website takes PayPal payment because I followed documentation. Sometimes I ask myself, and I want to ask people, like, is it really that hard to follow the documentation of the website? Maybe it is. I know if it was me like 10 years ago, I wouldn't be able to read the documentation. And that's why we get all these questions about how to do something. It's all kind of funny. So Josef says, how far from Oakland Airport do you live? I'm a good hour away from the Oakland Airport. So if you ever come down to the San Francisco airport, I'm about 10 minutes away. So maybe we can grab a drink together. I'll buy you some coffee. All right. Okay. So we have TT videos. Please make an Instagram app tutorial. Good question. So there's these 2 or 3 course links in the description that if you want to check out some premium paid courses that I offer, then go check it out. It does go a long way in terms of supporting the channel. That's one little bit of promotion I'll do. Okay, so 96 people in the stream means that we have dropped below 100, and that also means we're going to end today's live stream. I'll see everyone in maybe a lesson Monday, or I don't know. Yeah, we'll see what happens. So enjoy the rest of 2017. I don't think I will do another live stream for this year, but who knows? Maybe I'll do one on New Year's Eve, and there's probably going to be like 20 people that join me. So we need documentations for that documentation. Yeah, sometimes documentation itself needs someone to explain how to read it, which probably means that you didn't do a good job writing the documentation. The best documentation that I've really had the pleasure of reading is what's available on the Firebase website. I think they do a good job documenting what's there and how to use their technology stack. So if you want to understand how to read or write good documentation, try to follow the example that's been set by the Google Firebase team. So is there any way you could do it for cheaper, please? Currently, no. So yeah. You're the best coder on YouTube. Thank you. Well, thank you. I'll see everyone in the next video. I graduated from mobile makers and did a CS degree enough to know data structures. I'm looking for an iOS job. Interesting. Well, so I taught a bootcamp at mobile makers. Yeah, ask me a question on the website and I will answer you in a email form. So let me know and I'll get to your questions. I'll see everyone later and have the nice end to your day, evening, and afternoon. Bye, everyone.